But she looked good, huh?
Man, tell her again. Tell her again.
Right? No, it's your turn. You have to do it.
Telling her all week. She been killing it. She been making me look better, you know? For sure.
When you have a real connection with someone, it surpasses the physical aspect of your life. You're always inspired by them.
Yeah.
You're always wanting to honor them. You know, I'm constantly being reminded of things Hussle would tell me that now makes more sense now than it did then.
Yeah.
I just think it just really, that's why it is a LA love story.
That's a wife off top.
Right. Sir.
Period. You know what I mean?
Yes,
but
sir.
we didn't get married. You know what I mean? So we was at the club celebrating her birthday. I'm sure. I might be invite everybody to dinner and say, bring y'all wives.
Right.
Y'all might not be married. Y'all know how we talk. You know what I'm saying? But, you know, we was just having fun celebrating her birthday.
Hey, I'm Lauren London, sitting here with, don't cheat.
I ain't
Let me mix these up. Can I mix
I was
these
looking
up?
at my jewelry. I wasn't even looking at the question.
Okay, take two. Hey, what's up? I'm Lauren London, and I am sitting here with the amazing Nipsey Hussle, the Great. I end up following him on, I don't even remember what social media. See, my memory is so whack. Maybe it was Twitter, or at the time it was Twitter. I don't know. I don't remember. Instagram, maybe. I started following him, and then he DM'd me like, hey, thank you for this.
slid into your
He slid in
DM.
my DMs. He's like, thanks.
Every day is different. And so some days you don't want to. You just want to lay there. My big reason is my children, because they do deserve a really happy mom, and they deserve joy, and they deserve a house that has music playing and incense going and light coming in the windows, and they deserve that. And you know, when you lose someone, you know they're on the other side wanting you to continue life.
Diddy's team just leaked tapes of Lauren London. And let's just say, things are getting real messy. The talk about Lauren possibly being involved in Nipsey Hussle's demise is catching fire again. The word going around? She allegedly snitched on Nipsey, her own baby daddy. And some folks are convinced this whole thing was a setup from day one. Now the truth, it's starting to creep into the light.
What did you learn?
I learned that no one really dies, and that, you know, it's just an experience in the physical form, and we're attached to our personalities, but that we're just souls, and that we continue and continue and continue. And if you have a spiritual relationship with someone on earth, you will have one with them when you leave earth. In Hussle's words, because he used to always say this, the game is gonna test you, never fold. Stay 10 toes down. It's not on you, it's in you. And what's in you, they can't take away.
None of this shit makes sense. What really does make sense is that Diddy has had a long career of using to trap into making them do what he wants to do, or using them to move them out the way. How is Faith Evans any different than Lauren London? How? No difference at all.
You called Diddy a demon over a comment he made to Nipsey. What made you say that? Like, what's the backstory behind that?
But bro, I didn't say he was a demon. What I think I said that you gotta watch what you say to these demons. And I might have put them in the same category. But I didn't per se, he's a demon. Now he's done shit that I projected. I see that demons does. When I seen him picked up that dove, and a dove supposed to be that of new beginning in life, and the dove fell to the ground straight like it was dead. The day we did that, he did that ritual in the park.
I don't want it. I don't want it.
So how did you get that with Nip? How did you put ego aside?
I didn't get to do it when Nip was here.
Pay
I
attention.
didn't get to do it when he was here. I was very much in my control. In my, I love you so much, I wanted to just hold on to you forever. Then life happened. Then it's like you can't hold on forever.
Her name recently popped up during jury selection for Diddy's trial, and the internet immediately lit up. Everyone's asking the same thing. What does Lauren London have to do with this massive federal case? Well, it turns out she used to be very close with both Diddy and Cassie. But even after that hotel hallway footage of Diddy putting hands on Cassie went viral, Lauren stayed silent. No statements, no condemnation, nothing. And that silence? People are saying it speaks volumes.
I always say the front row at the funeral is different. You know, when you have to sit on, like, you know, I've been at a lot of funerals.
I bet.
I've never sat front row at one. That's different.
What does that do to you?
Shift your perspective on life.
But if you've been watching the Hollywood rumor mill, this isn't new tea. For years, there's been talk of wild tapes floating around, allegedly showing big-name celebrities involved in some seriously shady situations tied to Diddy's dark side. And we're not just talking about party footage. No, these tapes reportedly show illegal dealings, disturbing scenes, and what insiders call freak-offs that are straight up jaw-dropping. Some of the people caught on tape didn't even know that they were being recorded. Industry veterans like Jaguar Wright and Gene Deal have been yelling from the sidelines for years about this stuff. They've warned everyone that the truth was coming, and now, here it is. With Diddy's trial officially underway, everything is unraveling. Celebrities are getting dragged in left and right, all tied to his alleged crimes, his secret freak lifestyle, and the shady business behind it all.
Based on conversations that I heard him speak, that the man was spiritually connected. He was a child of God. He had gotten in front of Puffy one time, and he told Puff that he was putting out this music, and I guess Puff was helping him in some kind of way.
Here's the kicker, though. Most of the celebrities being named aren't denying they attended Diddy's parties, but they are denying that they stuck around for the after parties, because that's when things reportedly got real dark. And let's keep it real. You don't keep showing up to a place you think is shady unless you're a part of it. And guess who got name dropped on day one of the trial? Lauren London. During jury selection, jurors were shown a list of nearly 200 A-list names connected to the case, including Kanye West, Cassie, and yes, Lauren London. That name drop has people asking the tough questions now. Why was she listed? What does she really know? And the rumors about Nipsey? They're back in full force. Folks are starting to question whether Lauren was ever truly loyal to Nipsey, or if she was playing both sides all along. Some are even speculating that she knew way more than she ever let on, and that maybe, just maybe, she wasn't just a grieving partner, but a planted piece in something much bigger.
I always say the front row at the funeral is different. You know, when you have to sit on, like, you know, I've been at a lot of funerals.
I bet.
I've never sat front row at one. That's different.
What does that do to you?
Shift your perspective on life.
Now let's get into the real heart of the mess, because this is no random tragedy. Word on the street says Nipsey Hussle wasn't just taken out, it was a calculated hit, a power move. You see, Nipsey wasn't just another rapper climbing the charts. He was moving fast, building real power, and making big moves outside the industry's control. Allegedly, he wasn't playing by the gatekeeper's rules. He moved like a king, not a pawn. And to certain people at the top, that's a threat they don't ignore. Right after Diddy's arrest, that's when everything started to fall apart. Allegations started flying, and one of the biggest ones, that Diddy himself allegedly ordered the hit on Nipsey. And don't forget, Nipsey was only 33 when he was assassinated in broad daylight, right in front of his own Marathon store on March 31st, 2019. He was shot at least 10 times. Yeah, Eric Holder was arrested and sentenced to 60 years. But for years now, the streets have been whispering that Eric was just the fall guy, just a pawn. The real mastermind? Someone powerful. And guess whose name keeps getting dragged back into the conversation? Diddy. Jaguar Wright hasn't held back at all. She's been saying Diddy allegedly knew way more than he let on. But it doesn't stop there. Word is, he didn't do it alone. The whispers say someone close to Nipsey might have been feeding Diddy information, someone who wouldn't raise any alarms. And now, all eyes are starting to point at Lauren London.
I think this about the kids. Like, they're not going to take everything I'm doing as, like, what they're going to do. They're their own people. They'll find their own paths. They might connect spiritually with other things, and that's okay. I'm not trying to make them, turn them into me. This is my journey. But I do want them to know that whenever in life something happens, they'll probably be like, you know, I remember my mom's this, so let me meditate. See, I'm just trying to, like, showcase and set an example of, like, these are tools. This is a huge toolbox. You can pick which one that works for you. You might not need this. You might need that.
None of this shit makes sense. What really does make sense is that Diddy has had a long career of using to trap into making them do what he wants to do or using them to move them out the way. How is Faith Evans any different than Lauren London? How? No difference at all.
On the outside, it looked like a love story. She was the biggest rapper of all time. Everything seemed perfect, but dig a little deeper and it turns out Lauren was the one who introduced Nipsey to Diddy. And according to insiders, Diddy couldn't even get to Nipsey on his own, not even with all his LA connections. It was Lauren who made that link. Even Nipsey mentioned it in an old Breakfast Club interview. He said he knew Puff before, but the relationship got more personal after they ran into each other at Cassie's birthday. That little detail, it's making fans rethink everything. Now people are wondering, was Lauren just the girlfriend, or was she Diddy's inside player? A lot of folks believe she was placed there for a reason, to keep Nipsey close, to monitor him, maybe even to influence his decisions. The streets have been buzzing that Lauren and Diddy had a way closer relationship than anyone realized. Too close.
I end up following him on, I don't even remember what social media. See, my memory is so whack. Maybe it was Twitter, or at the time it was Twitter. I don't know. I don't remember. Instagram maybe. I started following him and then he DM'd me like, hey, thank you for this.
He slid in
my DMs. He's like, thanks for the support. Appreciate you. Send me your sizes so I can send you a personal box. Yeah. And then he gave me his number. And so then I text him because I was like, I don't do DMs.
Okay, but did you think it was really cute then?
I thought he was fine. But first of all, me following him was I was like, he took the bait.
Yeah.
No, yes, I always thought he was very attractive. I actually had like friends that knew him that were like, I think you guys would get along, years before that. But
there's even speculation that she was one of Diddy's mules or yacht girls, just like Young Miami. And that's why she's allegedly been called out in court. Old photos have resurfaced showing Lauren and Diddy looking way too comfortable together. Meanwhile, Nipsey's in the background, looking like the third wheel. Yeah, it's giving planted energy. Then, after Nipsey passed, Lauren did an interview with Angie Martinez. And that's where things started feeling even more off. She said Diddy helped her through the grief, but it was what he told her that had everyone doing a double take. He told her, "You've already shown the world what it looks like to love a man and hold him down. Now show them what it looks like when it falls apart. That's your responsibility." And let's be honest, who says something like that? That doesn't sound like a mentor. That sounds like a man with deep ties and deeper intentions. Fans were shook. And now, with the trial heating up and names being dropped left and right, people are no longer asking if there's more to the story. They're asking how much Lauren really knew.
But she looked good, huh?
Man, tell her again. Tell her again.
Right? No, it's your turn. You have to do it.
Telling her all week. She been killing it. She been making me look better, For sure.
Now, that is not the kind of thing you say to someone unless there's a deeper kind of bond. And fans picked up on that real quick. One detail that really had people talking, Lauren said Diddy called her Boo, which just so happened to be the same nickname Nipsey used for her. That raised a ton of eyebrows. Why would Diddy use a name that held such a personal connection between her and Nipsey unless there was something more going on?
when you have a real connection with someone, it surpasses the physical aspect of your life. You're always inspired by them.
Yeah.
You're always wanting to honor them. You know, I'm constantly being reminded of things Hussle would tell me that now makes more sense now than it did then.
Yeah.
I just think it just really, that's why it is a LA love story.
But it doesn't stop there. During that same interview with Angie Martinez, Lauren revealed something that had everyone side-eyeing hard. She said she attended a seminar, a whole 2-day seminar about grief and mortality. And here's the kicker. She went before Nipsey even passed. Angie looked visibly confused when she heard it. And fans, they were straight up shook. People started asking, what are the odds? Why would someone go to a seminar on passing away before losing their partner unless they knew something was coming?
What did you learn?
I learned that no one really dies and that, you know, it's just an experience in the physical form. And we're attached to our personalities, but that we're just souls and that we continue and continue and continue. And if you have a spiritual relationship with someone on earth, you will have one with them when you leave earth.
When Angie asked her how old she was when she went to the seminar, Lauren said she was around 25. And when asked why she even went in the first place, she explained that she never really felt connected to Earth growing up. She also shared that she learned things like no one really passes away, that we're just souls living through physical experiences, and that if you have a spiritual relationship with someone here, it continues even after passing away. And sure, that might sound deep, but it also gave off this eerie vibe, like she'd been preparing for something she already saw coming. And honestly, That energy reminded a lot of people of something Diddy did too. Remember when he bought an entire gold coffin for Kim Porter months before she passed? The parallels are hard to ignore. And when you look at how close Diddy suddenly got to Nipsey after Lauren introduced them, it starts to feel like things may have been orchestrated.
That's a wife off top.
Right. Sir.
Period. You know what I mean?
Yes,
but
sir.
we didn't get married. You know what I mean? So we was at the club celebrating her birthday. I'm sure. I might be invite everybody to dinner and say, bring y'all wives.
Right.
Y'all might not be married. Y'all know how we talk. You know what I'm saying? But, you know, we was just having fun celebrating her birthday.
Yeah.
You see, Nipsey wasn't deep in the industry like that. He was doing things independently, but Lauren, she had the ties. She had the access. And after she brought him around Diddy, suddenly Diddy was involved in Nipsey's career. He even helped with Victory Lap, which became Nipsey's biggest album. Diddy once said Nipsey had no ego. He came to him saying he wanted mentorship, wanted to get into real estate, and learn business secrets. Diddy told him to pull up whenever he had questions. And here's the twist. Diddy later revealed that someone tried to jerk him on that very album, but he fixed it and made sure he was one of the executive producers on Victory Lap. Now back then, fans thought all of that was a blessing, but now they're wondering if it was actually a setup, because here comes Gene Deal, Diddy's former bodyguard, dropping more tea. He said Nipsey went to Diddy for help because he wanted Victory Lap to have the same energy, the same legacy, the same vibe as Biggie's Life After Death. Yeah, that album. The one that dropped right after Biggie was taken out.
He was putting out this music, and I guess was helping him in some kind of way, and he said something. And that what he said was, I need my music and my album to have the same feel of that life after death, like Biggie's album. Now, you taking a spiritual person who's asking for something. He said, I wanted that same feel as life after death. That same feel was that Biggie got married and he went on to sell about 10 million albums.
And Nipsey even said it himself. He wanted that same feel, that same one Biggie had, the one that went on to sell about 10 million copies. But Gene didn't just take that lightly. He warned people about how words hold power in this game. He said, when you're dealing with demons, you better be careful what you say, because it might just come true.
You think it was a good idea for Nipsey to be cool with Diddy?
I really can't speak on what and the reason why that man would, when he was already doing a great job himself with the team that he had. But somebody convinced him that would be a good look for him. But no disrespect, he got what he asked for.
Gene Deal said it straight. Nipsey's biggest mistake was letting Diddy in, because once Diddy got involved, it wasn't just mentorship, he locked in. Suddenly, Nipsey was spending more time at Diddy's mansion than his own studio. And that's when everything started to change. Fans noticed he looked tired, stressed, like his whole vibe had shifted. That's where the theory comes in. Diddy didn't see Nipsey as a mentee. He saw a threat, a small independent voice who didn't play by Hollywood's rules. And when someone like that can't be controlled, you take them out. But someone had to open the door. And more people are saying that someone might have been Lauren.
R.I.P. to Nipsey. You heard about Young Miami? They suing her too. They claiming that she was harassing a female about getting a who was pregnant with Diddy baby. You heard about that?
Well, I don't know why she would be named in the lawsuit for that, unless she did something that was illegal. Based on what you're saying, I don't think what she did was illegal. But then I do know that she had a beef with one of Diddy's girl, which was Gina, and they was talking about that back and forth on the internet.
In Hustle's words, because he used to always say this, the game is gonna test you, never fold. Stay 10 toes down. It's not on you, it's in you.
And what's in you, they can't take away.
Now, the big question is, what did Lauren really know? With all these alleged tapes floating around Diddy's inner circle, people are starting to connect the dots. Maybe Lauren wasn't just mourning Nipsey. Maybe she was helping cover something up. And now that the trial's in motion and she's reportedly been called in, maybe the truth's finally coming out. Online, people aren't holding back. One post said, if Nipsey had sold out like others did, he'd still be alive. But he stayed true to himself, and that's why his time got cut short. Another person claiming to have spiritual insight said Lauren had a hand in all of it, that she got a Puma deal she wasn't meant to have, that Diddy and Jay-Z were stealing souls. They even said Lauren's grief didn't feel real. She didn't shed a tear, barely showed emotion, and somehow her energy just felt off. Lauren's name also showed up during Diddy's jury selection, and everyone's asking why. She was close to both Diddy and Cassie, but even after that hotel footage leak showing Diddy hitting Cassie, Lauren said nothing, stayed silent, and for a lot of people, that silence is telling. But this drama runs deep. There have been whispers for years linking Diddy to Nipsey's demise. And Lauren? People have long suspected that she was a honeypot, someone placed near Nipsey to watch him. It sounds crazy, but the rumors never stop. And now that she's tied to the trial, those whispers are turning into headlines.
Every day is different. And so some days you don't want to. You just want to lay there. My big reason is my children. Because they do deserve a really happy mom, and they deserve joy, and they deserve a house that has music playing and incense going and light coming in the windows, and they deserve that. And you know, when you lose someone, you know they're on the other side wanting you to continue life.
But it gets even messier. Reports say Nipsey's brother, Black Sam, has allegedly pulled away from Lauren. And if you know Sam, you know he's fiercely protective of Nipsey's legacy. So for him to keep his distance, that says something. According to people close to him, he and Lauren never really saw eye to eye. And things got worse when he learned how close she really was to Diddy. So now people are trying to figure out how deep this all goes.
I don't want it. I don't want it.
So how did you get that with Nip? How did you put ego aside?
I didn't get to do it with Nip here.
Pay attention.
I didn't get to do it when he was here. I was very much in my control. In my, I love you so much, I want to just hold on to you forever. Then life happened. Then it's like you can't hold on forever.
No.
Then I had to learn how to have the spiritual relationship. Then I had to in myself. But I mean, I wasn't always so in my fear of losing him. Because that's another thing, we get in our fear of losing this relationship, this connection, what our lives look like together. That then we just hold on to it so tight, it ends up slipping out anyway. You know what I mean? But like I said, I lost myself in a lot of aspects of my relationship, but I didn't start like that. It was very pure, good intention. We loved each other, right?
Yeah.
And we loved each other till the end of time.
In an old interview clip, Nipsey casually mentioned how he got connected to Diddy. He said Lauren introduced him. Puff wasn't just a random industry link. He became more involved after that intro. And now, during Diddy's trial, lawyers are screening jurors against a list of 190 names, mostly celebrities. And right there, Lauren London. Honestly, it's not shocking. Rumors about her deeper ties to Diddy have been floating for years, not just friendly party links, real business ties. After Nipsey lost his life, those whispers only got louder. People remembered Lauren was the one who brought Nipsey to Diddy. And after that, Diddy ended up as an executive producer on Victory Lap. By the time Diddy joined the project, the album was already done. Nipsey had just brought it to him for feedback. He wanted to hear Puff's thoughts, played it top to bottom, and Diddy told him the track still had room to grow, that they could continue to produce. But with everything we know now, fans are wondering if Diddy's involvement in Victory Lap was really about music or about control. That one detail got people talking. But what followed made the picture even messier. With Lauren being close to Diddy for years, folks started connecting the dots. Some even claim this connection might be why Black Sam, Nipsey's brother, allegedly distanced himself from her. After Nipsey passed, it was Sam, not Lauren, who took charge of his estate. He was the one managing Nipsey's finances and making sure his kids were provided for. Court records from early 2022 show Sam was granted more time to settle estate matters. And by November 2023, a judge ruled that Nipsey's $11.3 million estate could be split evenly between his two kids, Cross and Imani. Lauren was assigned to manage Cross's half. including Nipsey's bank accounts and shares in Marathon Clothing. Sam was given control of Imani's portion and got legal guardianship after the court ruled her mother unfit. Earlier that year, Sam revealed both kids were made part owners in the Marathon store, saying it was important for them to know the value of real ownership. He said this was something their father built, something they could grow with, and that mattered to him. He also said having a brick-and-mortar store was a way of honoring Nipsey's legacy and the lessons he left behind. When it comes to Lauren, Sam's never publicly said anything negative, which makes sense given she's the mother of Nipsey's child. But those close to him claim he and Lauren never really clicked. Things reportedly got worse after he found out how tight she was with Diddy. Let's rewind to March 31st, 2019, the day Nipsey was assassinated in front of his own store in LA. The whole hip-hop community was stunned. Since then, people have been asking, why would someone who gave so much be taken out like that? That's when the insider started speaking up. Jaguar Wright, as usual, didn't hold back. She said Nipsey's passing might have been part of a bigger industry setup, and she even dragged Lauren and Snoop into it. Her words, if they could do it to Tupac, why wouldn't they do it to Nipsey, especially if he was about to surpass them?
That Diddy has had a long career of using to trap into making them do what he wants to do or using them to move them out the way. How is Faith Evans any different than Lauren London? How? No difference at all. Struggling artists trying to make their way up, not getting the break that they needed. All of a sudden they stand next to the right guy, and then now you know that guy is dead and they're okay for life. You know how many people in the business that happens to? Let's look at Khalees. What makes her any different than Lauren London or Faith? I got a better one for you. Camille Cosby.
Jaguar claimed Diddy and his circle had secret meetings, and Lauren was allegedly put on Nipsey to watch him. She called out all those skin-filled Diddy parties and even Snoop's connections. She claimed Lauren wasn't with Nipsey out of love, it was part of a plan. A setup designed by Diddy and the powers he answers to. According to her, Lauren was planted to report back and control what Nipsey did. She said Lauren worked with Diddy to line up her own baby daddy. Jaguar even mentioned Lauren's sister, saying she had ties to something called the Honeycomb and the Capricorn.
Nobody had to look at him for real. And the truth is nobody did. Everybody laughed and joked about him dancing like a idiot in all them goddamn videos, twirling around in circles. This nigga been wild, you know. So I'm just saying, they didn't know, and he wasn't telling them. They just know he got the budget. He go to LA, he talk to Clive, he come back with the bread. Apparently, he has this man's confidence. Yeah, I'm sure that man was very confident with his penis in his mouth.
Then she brought it back full circle. Diddy was the executive producer on Victory Lap. Coincidence? She didn't think so. But Jaguar wasn't done. She brought up Nipsey's work on a documentary about Dr. Sebi, the herbalist who claimed he had natural cures for terminal diseases. Many believe Sebi was silenced for that. Jaguar claimed Diddy didn't want Nipsey touching that project, that all that mentorship was really just control to steer him away from Sebi's work. And finally, she dropped one last bomb. The corporation that bailed out Nipsey's perpetrator, allegedly, it was blind, silent, hidden. It's a lot to digest and uncover, but what do you think? Did Lauren really have something to do with Nipsey's tragedy? And is he really connected that way to Diddy? Let us know your thoughts in the comments, and go ahead and hit that subscribe button, turn on those post notifications, and follow us for more deep dives just like this.